Hello students. So we are at World Habitat series video number 8. We are done with polar regions, cool forest, rainforest, grasslands, deserts, mountains and caves and freshwater. Today is our 8th video on oceans. What is an ocean? Earth is largely made up of oceans. Animals and some plants flourish in this salty world. Most seawater is found in shallow water and around coral reefs. So let's start the video. Ocean habitats. Earth's surface is more than two-thirds water. Large parts have little or no life, but elsewhere oceans are bursting with activity. Where in the world? Everywhere in the world. Our planet has five large oceans. They are large and many parts of our ocean remain unexplored. Number one, Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Arctic Ocean, Southern Ocean, and Indian Ocean. These are the five main oceans. Food source. Now let's start from the smallest organisms, planktons. Planktons are algae and animals, many microscopic, that drift through the ocean, providing food for fish and other sea creatures. So this is a mobile food in the ocean. What are islands? Now, when we talk about ocean, we listen or read this word islands a lot. Islands are important to ocean as life collects on and around them. Ocean zones. Oceans are divided into zones according to depth. Some creatures stay in one zone, others move between two zones. Okay, so following are the different zones in the ocean. Tidal zone, this is the zone where the land meets the sea. Ocean, parts of the open ocean have very little life. Twilight, a murky zone for below the sunlight surface waters. Dark zone, no light hits this region but sea creatures still survive. Abyssal zone, the ocean's deep dark trenches. So there you can see tidal zone, this is open ocean, twilight zone, dark zone. So in ocean habitat, we start with the shoreline. The shoreline is that area where the land meets the sea. It's a tricky place to survive, with a constant battering by wind and waves, but many shorelines teem with life. What type? There are different types of shorelines. Some are shown below: sandy, rocky, muddy. Plants life. Plants on a seashore have to be able to withstand strong winds and salty spray. They tend to grow low and grow behind the high tide mark. So these all plants are used to live and survive with the salty water. So the types of shorelines were sandy, rocky, and muddy. Hold tight. Many shoreline seaweeds and animals have developed clever ways of staying put. They don't want to be washed away. Crabs can blend into the background very easily if threatened. Okay, so predators are also there. Brown seaweed, tied up. Crabs provide a shore with its cleaners. Basically, they will eat whatever they can grab and hold, whether it is alive or dead. The rock came too. The large brown seaweeds use finger like hold fast to grip a rocky surface. The hold is so firm that it is difficult to separate the seaweed from the rock. Amazing. So that was all about the shoreline. So next in ocean habitats we have rock pools. A rock pool is a miniature sea and home to many different creatures. Some stay in the pool permanently, but others get trapped there accidentally when the tide goes out. The rocky shoreline. Rock pools form when the tide goes out and leaves sea water behind in the rocky dips and crevices. For many creatures, this becomes their home. Local residents. Rock pools are home to many kinds of seaweeds and animals. Here are some of the most common ones. Gobies are fish. This can cover itself with sand in an instant. Shrimps can change color to blend in with their surroundings. Starfish as hunters, they usually have five arms but no brain. Seaweed, mussels, crabs, shells, anemones. These all are on rock pools. You can find them. A hard life. Life is tough in a rock pool. The temperature and saltiness of the water keep changing because of the weather. A small pool may dry out completely. So, what will the sea animals do? They will eventually die. So, next we have the coral reef. Coral reef are home to more than 15% of all fish species, yet they cover less than 1% of Earth's surface. What is this? A coral reef is made up from the stony skeletons of millions of tiny animals called polyps. Living polyps form a layer on the top of these and gradually a reef formed. Type of reefs. There are three main types of coral reef: barrier, atoll, and fringing. Most grow in warm, shallow water, though there are cold water reefs. The picture shows a barrier reef. Have a look. Reef animals are brightly colored, some are highly venomous. So, the most colorful part of the sea is the coral reef. Cleaning time. Reef fish use cleaning stations to have their parasites removed by particular fish or shrimps. The cleaners are never eaten. Wow. So that was all about coral reef. You can see. Have a look at puffer fish. If threatened, a puffer fish may blow itself up with water to stop it being swallowed by a predator, but most predators know to avoid this highly toxic fish. Swim for my supper. Sea creatures such as leatherback turtle will travel thousands of miles in search of jellyfish. If the food doesn't come to you, you have to go to find it. Next, in ocean habitats, we have the twilight zone. Have a look at this beautiful, dreamy zone, but oh my god, viperfish is hunting the merced. Oh, the twilight zone. Diving deep below the sunlight surface waters, you enter the mysterious twilight zone and the light rapidly fades. Below, above about 180 meters, it gets as black as night. Here's the big one. The twilight zone is colder than the sunlit zone, but some marine creatures have adapted to its harsh world. The largest visitor is the sperm whale, who heads down in the search of squids. So, squids are there in the twilight zone. Female anglerfish and are the size of a grapefruit. Males are just 5 centimeter long. Deep sea anglerfish patrol the very bottom of the twilight zone. The females are equipped with fishing rods. Wow. So, twilight zone is all about the anglerfish and sperm whale. What is this? Squid for supper? Twilight zone squid provides food for many of the fish that live at the depth. But they are also efficient predators able to grasp prey with their tentacles. A fearsome looking viperfish is hunting the message. Color me red. Many twilight zone creatures are red. In the dark, red appears black, which help the animal to hide from both prey and predators. That's interesting. Now move on to the deep. Animals living at the bottom of the ocean have to cope with dark, cold, and immense pressure. There's not much food, and the creatures grab what they can. So these creatures, those who are living in the deep, they are very strong. Open wide, the gulper eel has adapted to its environment perfectly. With its large mouth, it doesn't miss an opportunity to seize prey that swims its way. Hagfish. Hagfish have no true eyes and no jaws, but an unpleasant means of eating. When hungry, a hagfish will slide into a dead fish and start eating from the inside out. Oh God. If it's dead, I'll eat it. Rat-tailed fish are scavengers. Picking all the remains of animals on the sea floor, these fish grow slowly, taking 60 years to reach 60 centimeters. Oh God. The gulper eel. Tail, a gulper eel's tail can stretch to almost 2 meters 6 feet in length. These strange looking creatures are the smallest lobsters in the world. Squat lobsters. Giant tube worms. Some of the tube worms that live at the base of deep sea vents are as long as a person is tall. The worms have no mouth, they absorb minerals from the water. They cannot feed like most animals as they have no mouth and no intestine. So they absorb the ingredients. Cool. Now, next in ocean habitat is icy waters. The underside of the winter ice pack contains small algae filled with channels, which give it a curious green coloring. Many animals survive in this harsh environment. Freezing, not me. The ice fish is the only fish without red blood cells. This Atlantic crocodile ice fish has a form of antifreeze in its blood to prevent its freezing. So it's not warm blooded. Penguins, they have webbed feet. You can see the mighty walrus. These are all found in icy waters. Marine mammals. In ocean habitats, you will find marine mammals also, baleen whales, tooth whales, dolphins. There are many different types of dolphins. What are porpoises? Porpoises are smaller than dolphins. These are six species. So, whales and dolphins. Now, last but not the least, we have ocean killers. And have a look at ocean killers. Sea snake, cone shells, the blue ringed octopus, a box jellyfish. Many people fear the great white shark, but attacks on humans are rare. However, sharks are fierce hunters. Spiky invader, the crown of thorns starfish, love to eat corals. What is this? Okay, the big one. So now last but not the least in ocean habitat is mangrove swamps. Tropical swamps are good places for mangrove trees. These trees have roots that stick out to the water like stilts. Too much salt, nature's nursery, a walking fish. Have a look at this. Interesting. The mud skipper is actually a fish, but it can survive long periods out of water. It does this by storing water in large gill chambers. A crab for tea. Long-tailed macas, also known as a crab-eating monkeys, are one of the larger inhabitants of Indonesia mangrove swamps. So that was all about ocean habitats, and we are done with all the habitats so far. And today's our eighth video that covered all the habitats, and next video is on towns and cities for human habitat. So thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Goodbye.